TIFU by buying condoms while shopping with my girlfriend's dad. Happened a few years ago now. And then girlfriend is now wife. Happened about Christmas Eve, the day before that maybe. My girlfriend's dad had to go out to a big supermarket and asked if anybody needed anything. I was staying for Christmas and had forgot to get a last-minute extra thing for my girlfriend, so I tagged along. We split up in the store. I went and got a box of condoms and went to the cashier with no queue. Said to her very quietly, "Can you put these through discreetly, please?" Girlfriend's dad also then happened to join the queue behind me, just as the cashier said rather loudly, "There is no need to be nervous. You should practice safe sex." Looked round and her dad heard everything. I said, "That's fine, but that's my father-in-law." Cashier seemed pretty embarrassed. In-law played it cool and seemed interested in the line of chewing gums at the kiosk. We'll never forget that. TLDR. Father-in-law saw me buying condoms. Cue embarrassment. TIFU. By letting a trained Muay Thai fighter kick my leg. I, 21M, have a friend, Alex, 22M, who has been practicing some sort of fighting-related sport since he was 10, and Muay Thai since he was 13. For a bit of context to this particular event, last month me and Alex went out to catch up. We had a few drinks, and on the walk from one bar to another, he was telling me about a tournament he recently participated in. He mentioned that in one of the fights, he basically took a guy out with a few leg kicks. To be honest, I was kind of skeptical, like, why not punch the dude in the face or something? He said he would bet me $50 I would be crying on the floor after a half-effort kick. Mind you, I had very little to no knowledge on Muay Thai practice and technique. I'm also 5'9", 135 pounds, and I don't work out at all besides the occasional set of bicep curls. Anyway, I told him to raise it to 100 for a full effort kick and we'd have a deal. I suppose I figured I played soccer as a kid, how bad can it be? He really wanted to prove a point, and I guess he wanted some very early morning practice. He agreed to this bet and told me to not move and just stand normally, hands behind my back so they wouldn't get in the way. The whole deal. He asked if I was sure about this. I said yes, despite growing doubts, because one can buy quite a few beers for $100. He stepped back, got into position, then swung his leg towards me at the speed of light until his shin made contact with the outside of my left thigh. Despite having most of my weight in my left leg, the force alone swept my legs off the ground. The pain didn't even fully hit me until a few seconds later. Sobered me right up. I thought I had an above-average pain tolerance, but apparently not. I'm not sure how to describe the feeling. Like an overwhelming stinging sensation that basically radiated all the way from my hip to my ankle. I couldn't bend my leg at all or fully straighten it. Took me a little while to even be able to move or speak. I was honestly convinced he shattered my femur or something. A few minutes later, it was still throbbing, but the pain went down to a semi-bearable level. With help of my friend, I was able to stand back up. It took us over half an hour to get to his apartment a quarter of a mile away, all while he was laughing his ass off about my stupid decision to take this bet. At his place, I noticed how the area 3 inches above my knee was swelling up into a distinct oval shape. We tried to ice it, but putting any pressure on my thigh was excruciating. The next morning, the pain went from sharp stings to more of a persistent dull ache. Alex felt bad for me, and he still gave me my $100 because while I did make a bit of a scene, he wasn't sure whether any tears actually left my eyes, lol. I was practically dragging my left leg behind me for a week or so. My thigh looked pregnant for a while, and I ended up walking around with a dinner plate-sized bruise that's only now starting to fade. I'm glad my homie somewhat knew what he was doing, otherwise he would have kicked my knee in or something. Do I regret taking this bet? A bit, but I'm also $100 and a whole lot of respect for professional fighters richer. TLDR. My buddy is a professional fighter and I took a $100 bet on whether a kick to the thigh would make me cry. Top 3 worst experiences of my life, but I did get the money. TIFU by using hair removal cream and now my balls are on fire. This just happened and they are still on fire, but it's getting better. So I was looking for a new trimmer when this hair removal thingy popped up on the side. I clicked on it thinking, what is this BS? But it looked pretty good. It was especially for men and all that stuff, and it said, it's for all body parts, even private parts. This caught my attention as I do hate shaving all the time, so can a cream do it for me? Sign me up. The reviews were good too. Some men were saying that it didn't do its job. Some said that it worked flawlessly. Some felt a little itching, but nothing horrible. So I ordered it. It arrived in the morning, and I was like, I'm going to test it tonight. I read the info on how to use it, and it said to do a skin test, so I did it on my shoulder, and it worked great. No itching, no redness, hair gone. I'm going to buy 10 of these for my whole upper body. It is a tiny bottle, though. I did everything as the instructions said. I moistened the area with warm water, slathered it on my balls, and waited. Once again, no itching, so I was happy. I took a towel and wiped it off, saw all the hair on the towel, and thought, oh, sweet. But then the pain began. It was a little itch at the beginning, so I rinsed it off with water, but the warm water felt like boiling tea on my effing balls. Holy shit. Everything else is fine, the area around. Dick root, everything is fine. But my balls are sensitive, red and shrunk, and they look like dried cranberries. Never again. TLDR, bought a hair removal cream. Said for all body parts. Even private parts. Skin tested. Did a good job. Put it on balls, waited. Washing it caused ouch. Wince. Dried cranberries. TIFU, by texting my claims adjuster about my hairy ass. Oh god, this just happened a few hours ago, and I'm still mortified. So the story about why I needed a claims adjuster, about a month ago, I was rear-ended at a stoplight. We exchanged information, the police were called. I got an accident number from the officer, and that part of the journey was done. Later that night, I hopped onto my insurance app and filed a claim. Bada bing, bada boop. The next day rolls around, and I call the other driver's insurance to file a claim through them. It's been a month of jumping through hoops, and my claim being reassigned to 3 different adjusters. It was always me who called them, and today was the first time I was able to get anywhere. I got it all straightened out. The other person's insurance will pay to fix my car and for the rental. So at the same time, I'm texting my friend just shooting the breeze, and I tell them about this hair removal hard wax. I used to get the hair off my ass and how it was like a werewolf back there, but now it feels silky smooth. Then I look at whoa, I'm texting. My friend's name starts with CL, and my phone auto-corrected to claims adjuster, and my stupid ass thought it was my friend. That is until the next text in the thread was, Ms. Last name, I really didn't need to know that. I then realized my faux pas and profusely apologized. Since the issue has been resolved, the adjuster said, it was a pleasure to serve you, ma'am. Have a nice day. I just wanted to curl up and unalive from embarrassment. TLDR, thought I was texting my friend about my hairy ass, was texting my insurance adjuster instead. TIFU by wearing my memorial necklace to lunch. This year, on the 6th of July, my grandfather passed away. He was a kind, smart, and absolutely amazing human being who always had room in his heart for you. When he passed, the whole family was devastated, but the girls of the family all wanted to get memorial urn necklaces, me included. We ordered our necklaces off the internet, and when they all finally arrived, my mother passed out the filled necklaces while we all were together for a dinner. It's September now, and I've worked this necklace nearly every day without issue. I noticed the screw was a little wiggly, but it never showed any sign of slipping, and I could never get it unscrewed when I tried to make sure that the screw was nice and tight. Today at work, I was in the middle of a great lunch with a work friend, leaning over the table to share Labor Day drama and everything, when she pointed out I had sugar or something on my dress. We had been splitting a powdered donut earlier in the lunch, so I figured she must be right. I went to dab the powder off my dress when I saw it. The little hole in my necklace where the stopper screw was supposed to keep my papa's remains inside the hollow necklace was missing, and the powder on my dress was right at the level with the hole in the necklace, and there was a tiny amount of grainy, chalky dust on the plate of food I was about to take a bite of. The screw had come out of my urn necklace, and I was now in the process of doing the mental gymnastics of trying to figure out if I freak out, cry, wipe papa off my clothes, leave it there. Absolutely losing my mind in silence. My coworker asked me what was wrong, but I couldn't do anything but hold up the necklace. She freaked. I freaked. We scoured the floor until we found the screw and fixed the necklace. The stress of it all made my coworker puke in the restroom 5 minutes later. She has a nervous stomach. I now have to finish out my workday with the damp spot where there was previously the powdery residue of my beloved papa on my dress, TLDR. My urn necklace busted at lunch, and I almost ate the contents. Eat it for some clarity. I did not open the necklace at any point since it was filled. There's no super glue in my house right now, but my lovely coworker said she'll bring me something she's got in her house tomorrow, and I'll let the glue set in the necklace on my desk while I work. TIFU by saying OMG shut up during assembly. So for context, my school has assembly after lunch. Once assembly is done, we get to go home after. The only problem is that assembly is so effing long. This is where the FD up occurred. Assemblies in general are long, however, there is one particular teacher, calling him Mr. Jeff, who basically rambles about the same things and makes assembly longer and basically delays us going home. Once the assembly was nearly over, Mr. Jeff had come to present the assembly as per usual with his long waffle, and as per usual I sighed. But unfortunately, it wasn't just a sigh. The assembly had basically been going over, and due to my frustration, I had blurted out, OMG, shut up. I thought no one had heard me but the people and him around me did. He then said, well, apparently some people are tired of me talking, so time to dismiss you. I had to stay back, though, and he essentially questioned me on why I would say that and that he was only trying to be helpful. I just explained that his assemblies always talk about the same thing and how he always conveniently delays the time to leave or only decides to speak just before we are about to leave. My friends were agreeing with me but didn't say out loud. TLDR, a teacher constantly makes assembly longer with the same talking points, so when he came up, I got frustrated and said, OMG, shut up, and he heard me. TIFU. By trying a condom on for the first time to see if its lube would feel good. Growing up, I always assumed condoms felt good. Later on, when I started making a ton of friends, my mom got me condoms randomly without discussion. Somehow, she got the right C's by sheer coincidence. One day I got bored and tried it on in private, but I couldn't get off at all. If anything, it was uncomfortable. I felt a tingle, but that was it. Wasn't fun at all. When I put away the condom and filled it with water for fun, my dick started burning and I fell to the floor cussing like I never have before. It was the first time I screamed, motherfucker. This was new pain. It sucked and it was on and off for 2 days. I missed the trash man, so I couldn't hide the evidence, so I just filled my trash bag with some random BS and threw it away. I also threw out the rest of the packet, even though I only used one. I told my mom later about how the condom burned, but I didn't say what I was doing. I was scared that I, a virgin, somehow got an STD from a condom. She laughed and said I was probably allergic to the latex and joked about what she thought I was doing, which was me playing with myself. My sister found out and they laughed for days. TLDR. I'm allergic to latex and I don't deserve my dick at all. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.